This is the new 2026 version of the Antec 900 full tower case, and this really isn't going to work. The new Antec 900 is a full tower case that can accommodate a colossal amount of hardware. Antec has had a Model 900 in its range for absolutely years. This, however, is the new 900. It's a big case. Let's pull off some panels and show you what's going on. Thumb in the back. As you can see, tinted glass panel. Front panel. Now, that's not good. That's loose on that side. We've got some tiddly pins, but the catches on that side, fresh out of the box, not working very well. Inside that front panel, we have a magnetically retained huge air filter. As you can see, the mesh is incredibly large. We would hope that flows air quite well. Magnet's quite strong. You can see we have 3 fans pre-installed in the front, 2 on the power supply shroud, 1 at the rear. The 3 fans in the front and the 1 at the rear are 140mm Antec Tranquil fans, and these are reverse airflow 120s. Down bottom, pull to open up the storage compartments. Off with the right hand panel, pull, mesh down the bottom, no noise deadening material, quite large and heavy. These panels, incidentally, steel main chassis, as you'd expect, steel top panel, steel all round. At first glance I wondered whether there might be some aluminium going on, but nope, every single piece I've seen is steel. Down the bottom we have a huge amount of space for the power supply. We have a load of storage bays. Those are the accessories in a neat little box. So the drive cages are the flex insert drive, and then you push it in and it latches on those catches, so you squeeze the thing. In other words, no fasteners required. Very neat. And I know what you're thinking, why might I need 4 hard drive bays and SSD mounts and another SSD mount? And the explanation is that this case is clearly aimed at workstation use. After all, why else would it be so large? So think in terms of workstation. If you're not interested in a huge amount of space and a huge number of drive bays, you're probably not going to be buying this case. However, once you've liked and subscribed this video and subscribed to the Kit Guru Tech channel, continue watching, because even if you're not in the market for this Antec 900, you might find the review interesting. Around the back, the cables are neatly secured, but we see no evidence of a PWM hub. Let's find out where those fan connections go. Nope, the fans just daisy chained together, and then you have to plug them into your motherboard. And you can see there the cable for the rear fan, and it's the same deal for the reverse fans on the power supply shroud. Having said that, the average workstation board should have no difficulty accommodating a few fans. The fans in the front mount on these struts or straps. You can see we have screw positions. You can either install 120s instead of the 140s, or if you choose, remove your 140s, move these straps out, and then you can put 2 200s in the front. Let's go to the top of the case. Let's lay that down. Right, that's the pull I expected for the front panel, but as I say, the front panel was slightly loose. Take out that magnetic dust filter, so exactly the same deal as the front, just physically smaller. Pop that back and see if it goes. Well, that works. That's good. The front, not so good. And you can see the top, it has fixed fan positions. so you haven't got movable mounts and therefore 120s or 140s only. So if you're putting an AIO, as we will be in this case, it's going to go in the roof. If on the other hand you want to play with big air cooling, you might consider ditching the 140s at the front, even though you've only just bought them, and going for 200s. That's a lot of space, and you'll note we have cable grommets outboard of even the largest motherboard. So let's get some hardware inside this case and we'll see how easily everything fits. Our chosen motherboard is this Gigabyte TRX50 AI top, about £800 worth. Processor is a Ryzen Threadripper 9980X. That adds £4,500 to the build. And then we have the memory, which came in this incredibly discreet box from G-Skill. It's some of their T5 Neo RDIMM memory. 4 modules, rated at DDR5 6400. Can't currently find it on sale, but that's memory for you. Priced at around £4,000 for the 4 modules. And you're right, it's going to take quite a power supply to run this system. So what have we got in store? How does £470 of Antec Signature 2200 grab you? 2200 watts? It's a rebadged Seasonic Prime PX2200. Alan has reviewed both the Seasonic and also the Antec, and he loves them both. It's fully modular, and I've got out the cables that I require for this build. I've also got this, the 900 iShift kit. Had to say that very carefully, which is this. Here's the idea. I take my power supply and I slide it into place like so, and then I would reinstall the cover at the rear, and that's fine. But look, we're kind of encroaching into the space required by the drive bays once we feed the cables through, and that might not work for you. So the idea is that you put this bracket at the back, pass through cable to your power supply, and then you slide your power supply in across the case and you secure it with the bracket that's here. So the power supply is now like that, connected to this. Power cable comes out the back in the usual way. That's all lovely. And then your cables, your modular cables, connect here, which is on this side, and they can now feed up here. Not a bad idea. The snag is that this monstrous power supply is too large for this trick. Let's just put it in across the case. Okay, I could now secure this power supply in place, and you will see if we now connect cables here, we are outside of the case, which means this iShift bracket doesn't work on this big power supply. It would need to be a more conventional power supply, which kind of negates the purpose of the idea. A smaller power supply, back to there. I think you've got space for the cables. Anyway, enough chit chat. I'm going to install the power supply, connect the cables, and then we'll get on with the CPU cooler. And our CPU cooler is this Antec Threadripper AIO. It's a 360, so 3x120s, and that's pretty much all we know about it. It's powered by Antec, as it says there. It didn't come with any fans. I was sent this pack of Nova 120 PWM fans separately. So let's get this into place and see how it looks. With the cooler installed, we move on to the graphics card. It's a Palette RTX 5080 GameRock OC. Just about squeezes into space. Look at it. That's a big graphics card. We also have the fun and games, that the 2 fans for feeding air to the graphics card, I wondered about this, are up here. And our 2 SSD mounts on the power supply shroud, which are under the graphics card. Obviously don't feed any air at all, but if the fans were here, that's solid metal because of course power supply. So those two fans I don't think are really going to bring much to the party. Two more screws, a few panels, and the system should be ready to go. For our first thermal test, we're running the case fans at 1000 RPM and the three fans on the AAO cooler at 1400 RPM, and that sounds like this. This is a mighty PC. The processor's drawing 350 watts, the graphics 320 watts, and the system as a whole 880 watts. At an ambient temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, the CPU runs at 65 degrees C and the graphics at 62 degrees C. Increasing the case fan speed to 1250 RPM and the AIO cooler fans to 1600 RPM sounds like this. The ambient is still 20 degrees, the CPU has dropped significantly to 60 degrees, and the graphics have also dropped to 60 degrees. For our third test, we increased the case fan speed to 1500 RPM and the AIO cooler fans to 2000 RPM, and that sounds like this. The CPU temperature drops 1 degree further to 59 degrees, however the graphics temperature increases to 61 degrees, so no net benefit and the system is much noisier. And we come to my conclusions about this Antec 900. Pros, the good points. The main compartment is massive, your hardware just vanishes inside. Secondly, I've put smart styling. This is obviously a matter of personal choice, it's understated, I like it. Also the build quality is fairly good, notwithstanding that front panel that's a touch loose. And the third pro is you have easy access to the storage bays and the power supply, which is kind of the same thing as there's loads of space in the main compartment. Similarly, plugging in the power connectors to the motherboard, you don't have to worry about connecting things and then installing the board. There's space everywhere. Access is really good. Cons, the negatives. You don't get a PWM hub. I thought about it earlier in the video. I said, yeah, motherboards can support that. That's, you know, multiple fans. Actually, this motherboard doesn't have a huge array of PWM connectors, and they're not in great locations. So, for example, connecting the rear fan, slightly trickier than I expected. Have I mentioned the price? Not sure. £249 here in the UK, including VAT, €289 for you Europeans. So expensive. I'm not kicking up about the price because it's got a 4.5 gram processor, about £4,000 of memory, a graphics card that's north of that, and so on and so on. The price of the case is, frankly, a detail in the cost of this build. So what I'm saying is, when you're paying that kind of money for a case, I think you deserve a bit of love. So PWM hub, details like that. And for my third con, my third negative point, the accessory kit doesn't include any spare plastic clips. Any number of budget cases come with replaceable clips they push into the frame of the case. So when they slacken off over time, you just pop them out and you replace them. This case, as I mentioned at the very start of the videos, come with two that would appear to be faulty. Again, it would cost Antec absolute pennies and something they could easily rectify. Overall, I'm giving this case 8 out of 10 and a worth buying award.